Hello, this is Monday Nights Get Nuked. We are the Bloodthirsty Puppets. I am Thirsty, and this is my lovely crew. Look how lovely they are. Right, first and directly below me, we have Spanners. Spanners, who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Timi. Timi is. I think we've decided that she quite likes torture. I think the last time we left her, she had just wandered into the shower with Freya.
Yes. At Rachel's House of Ribald Valkyries. Yes. So, Lilth, who should you be playing tonight?
I will be playing Anita the Rotter, who has just left the scene of an arson that wasn't committed by her. Definitely wasn't committed by her. It was her friend that she'd met there, and she'd legged it. Yes.
Yes. And where did we leave you? Do you remember?
We were back on the ship, if I remember rightly. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, you were back at Madame Nooch's knocking ship.
That's the one. Yep.
Because if I sneak in the word ship there, everyone might forget that it was a shop. Because I forgot to do the pun. Right. Ivor, who should you be playing tonight?
I'll be playing Zeke on his never-ending quest to find his erstwhile pet, Herbert. Last we saw him, he was being drowned back to consciousness by a rather large Valkyrie.
There he was.
Having been knocked unconscious by a hail of pots, pans and other...
Drinking horns and shoes and tankards and yeah. Yeah, so you went into a women-only bar staffed by large militant women. It went about as well as you'd expect. So yes, despite the fact that Corone has so very nicely already put the rules for chat in the chat, I'll do them again now, because I didn't do them before introducing everyone. So, don't be a tool about someone's gender, don't be a tool about someone's race, and most importantly, don't be a tool.
Or a screwdriver.
There we go. So, right. Who should we start with? Who feels most confident? Fuck it, I know what we should do. We shall start with Zeke. Right. Zeke, you are plunged into water head first. You have a pair of strong hands holding you down beneath the surface. There's a burning pressure in your lungs as your eyes open. Water enters your mouth, nose and ears, and presumably soaks into your hair, washing off filth that you'd forgotten was there. How are you reacting to this? You are severely beaten and very weak.
I think the reaction Zeke would have there is to weakly push against the hands trying to break the surface of the water at least for a second.
Okay. So you. Oh God, what's happened to the technology? Right. You need to take a strength of some kind, or a grapple maybe, if you're going to try and fight against the grips of this Valkyrie.
Okay. Let's grapple with strength, yes?
Indeed.
Seven. Yeah, 7. 4 on the die, yeah.
Okay, right. Right, yeah, well, the Valkyrie rolled an 8, so even if we're not adding any bonuses on her side, things aren't going well for you. Right. So, you remain underwater. It's unpleasant, uncomfortable. Yeah, as drowning tends to be. As you lay back and think of England or heaven or desperation, or, possibly worrying about whether you'll breathe ever again, you finally manage to notice a face. You see a face above the water. You make out a body. These fists holding your lapels under the water are attached to. And after what feels like several millennia, you are pulled back out of the water into the face of this rather large woman who takes a few seconds to sort of notice the light returning to your eyes before plunging you back into the water. Right. Take a physical endurance.
Physical endurance. 13.
Excellent. Yeah, you manage to get a breath in before hitting the water. It's not much, but this time you realize. This time when you're held under the water, you start to make out other sounds apart from just like your heart, but like thumping in your ears. You can hear running water sort of outside of this trough. And you realise that it was only a few seconds before you're pulled back out and you're just sat in the water. You're still almost entirely insensible at this point, but you're aware that you've been pulled out of water. You are conscious, if not entirely compos mentis. Yeah, we shall leave you there for the moment, sitting in a befuddled haze in a trough full of water. It's probably the cleanest you've ever been.
The cleanest I've definitely been since we started this campaign.
Oh, you had a shower. But yeah, probably still the cleanest you've been for a very long time. So yeah. Timi.
Yes.
You are in a shower with Freya.
I am. And if I remember correctly, I was washing the blood off of the shirt that I was wearing. Or I had been wearing.
That would seem about right, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I suppose also I think you were also washing the blood off your hands, and because
Yes.
you were spotted because you had crusted blood under your fingertips.
Yeah. In fact, I think I had just like caked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Initially, you were covered. Your hands were covered in blood, and then you shot someone twice in the throat at close range.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
And
then,
then you pulled the nails out, and let this guy let poor Eric bleed all over you.
Mhm.
Yeah, a display
I
of
think
stuff.
I might have tried to glass someone.
Quite possibly. Doesn't seem
Yeah,
unlikely.
yeah, it was. I tried to stab one of the guards in the knee, but he was wearing shin pads,
Ah, yes.
and then he got stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would be trying to remove at least some of the blood from my clothes, having neither confirmed nor denied that I wanted Freya's company.
Okay. Right. So, having neither confirmed nor denied you wanted Freya's company, and being that you're clearly not a paying customer, basically after turning the water on for you, and sort of standing there expectantly for a few moments, Freya sort of leaves you to it. She's like, yeah, not really my scene, getting rid of evidence in what's clearly been something quite grisly.
So as she leaves, I call her back, or at least I call her, and I take the slightly blood splattered tack from my pocket and throw it to her.
Okay, yeah, she's definitely not too proud to take it. So yeah, she takes the tack and it vanishes, which you have no idea where in her small costume it could possibly vanish to. Suffice to say, these things are clearly very cleverly made, with hidden pockets, God knows where or how, but she takes it, she turns away, and when she turns back and thanks you for the tack, it's gone.
Okay, so yeah, I nod to her and carry on using soap to liberally remove some of this blood, and rather enjoying the fact that we're all smelling dissimilar now to the river.
Yeah, definitely dissimilar to the river. So yeah, you two are now in a far better place in terms of, unconsciousness and filth. So yeah, we shall now jump over to Anita, who has spent the evening tending to Grigor, who was terribly wounded
Yep.
at the knocking shop. So
Yep.
So what we shall do, in the absence of a Corone, or any space to put him in the overlay, is basically assume that you sort of cheesed your connections at the knocking shop to leave him there, or maybe he's already left. But you're walking off of the knocking shop. You've come out of the staff area. You're walking towards the larger enclosure of shipping containers. That is the main sort of mass, with the gangplank off to one side. And once again, you you don't see Gary. You see Mary. You see Mary and another sort of squirrely bloke who's got a very, very large stick that looks very, very hitty. The others they sort of deal with everyone because they look big and butch. This guy just looks cruel. But Mary sits there, with a hand on his shoulder. A massive sort of, overwhelmingly massive paw placed on his shoulder, just like, let them pass. So yeah, you're free to sort of wander back into the town. Where on earth are you heading?
That is a very good question.
Being that you kind of burnt down a building yesterday.
I didn't burn down a building.
Okay, you were complicit in the arson of a building.
I was present when the building started burning.
You were complicit in its arson. The person who set the building on fire did so to save you.
Possibly.
Well, to save you from those two's folly.
That's true. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. When they broke a hole in the ceiling of the room they were murdering someone in, and you had to go and make sure that the witnesses were silenced.
Yes. And then burnt the building down to hide everything.
Yeah, and then the witness decided to join you and burnt the fucking building down.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Destroying his weapon in the process, I seem to recall.
Yes, he did. That's what caused the fire.
Yes. So yeah, you're free to wander back into town. I assume you're going to wander back towards the merchant quarter then?
Probably yes. I would assume that they were probably still in that vicinity, so I'd go and loiter nearby.
Okay, yeah. You've now followed the very familiar path up towards Tom's Oddity Shop, and you emerge back into the square. Well, we call it a square. It's by no means square, but hey. And there's all the normal stall holders, and there appears to be a small but ever growing number of people who are either coming to help rebuild the building that fell down last night, or they're nicking stones and leaving. They're all looking very industrious, but people seem to be leaving with large, oddly coloured lumps, sort of under their jackets and things. So they might be stealing booze from the burned down bar section, or maybe just stones to build their own homes. You're not entirely sure. But yeah, there's a sort of a pile of sort of greasy smoke over the whole sort of square at this point. Clearly the bucket chains got the fire out, but it wasn't before the building fell in.
But they managed to stop it spreading, at least.
Yeah, well, at least notably. Yeah. If the fire spread, it didn't spread through the buildings in the square. It might have spread back from the square. You're not sure.
Okay. So I knew they were in the building.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 exits that I know of, so I would probably go and check the back entrance I didn't use to see if there's any sign that they were around there. Like any dead bodies, knowing Timi.
Yes. Oh. It's terrible that you have to say that sort of thing, isn't it? Really?
I know. It's just.
But yeah, you're looking for bodies. You're looking for destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And mayhem.
Yep.
But you managed to join. Yeah, you managed to join sort of the straggling sort of mass of people who are standing in the former site of bungos. How do you want to go about this? Sneaking through to the back alley, or are you going to just walk around the block, or are you going to pick over the rubble?
I'd probably have a quick look just to see if there's anything worth appropriating in the rubble.
Okay. If there's anything worth appropriating in the rubble. Now, are you going to try and be circumspect about this? Or are you just going full-on looter? I mean, because there are some full-on looters here. There have been. Most of the good stuff has either been collected by the owners, having put the fire out, or nabbed by looters earlier in the evening, sort of thing. Or sort of in the middle of the night.
Probably circumspectly.
Okay, so give me a sneak.
Hmm. 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
Total of 10.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You basically you walk up to the building, whistling loudly, looking nonchalant, looking like you have not a care in the world, not looking where you're going. Yeah. Lips pursed, loud, tuneless whistling. You trip on like a stone. Your arms windmill a bit. You lean on a bit of broken wall. You let out a little yelp. People have seen you, but they're not really paying attention to you. You get the feeling that they're looking away because they're embarrassed for you. They all know you're there, but they're too polite to point out that you're a bumbling fuckwit. So yeah, you have made your way to the place. Right, give me any kind of test you can justify for what you're looking for.
Mm.
Yeah, twinned with your perception, obviously.
Knowledge? Does I know what I'm looking for?
What are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably.
So you don't have don't have the knowledge of what you're looking for.
Probably.
I mean, you could argue knowledge looking for things that would be easy to sell quickly. I mean, you are a trader.
Yeah, definitely that. Let's go with that.
Right, give me the roll there.
It is 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
You see some of their like campy tchotchkes laying around. These things would sell quickly, if not necessarily for much. You know, no one really, no one's gonna pay like an arm and a leg for like a campy little plastic dancing girl, with all the spring things. Or a beaded curtain, or a broken hookah, or something. But they might, they buy them.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to sell. It might not be easy to carry a hookah. But, you find a few sort of bits. You find like a slightly singed cushion, a little plastic hula girl, some beer mats, things that you could easily sell. And we shall say you find about 7 tacks worth of gear.
I will squirrel that away in my pack.
Excellent. Now, the next thing that you notice, standing as you are now at the back of the room, having pillaged, virtually untouched cushions from the opposite side of the room that the fire started, is you now realise there is a large, and I mean large, blood stain in the alleyway behind this building.
That would tend to indicate that my colleagues have headed this way. Knowing
like
them. Yeah. I'm not going to get too close, but I'm going to see if there's a trail or anything that I can follow to work out where they headed. Or if there's anything obvious that they would have headed for.
Yeah, well, slap me a perception as you walk into the alleyway. I'll tell you what sort of obvious details you notice.
That won't be much. 4.
4.
Yeah.
You notice that there is a blood stain.
Yeah.
It's a stain made of blood. The blood appears to be blood of a reddish colour, presumably from a human. And it appears to be next to some crates at an opening of the alleyway off to your left.
I kind of wander over to the crates and see if there's anything else I can spot.
Okay, yeah. You wander over to the crates. There's blood. There's a lot of footprints here. You don't know if it's just a heavily trafficked alleyway or maybe there was a scuffle. You're not sure. You are unfortunately not Zeke, and footprints are just footprints to you.
Yeah.
You see that one of them's definitely wearing cheaply made boots, which you would recognise because you've sold cheaply made boots. You've put, wooden blocks in them and called them orthotics and sold them to people.
Yep.
And I cannot remember what happened to Timmy's clothes last session.
They're currently in Zeke's pack.
Oh,
They
Zeke
are.
picked them up.
Zeke
picked them
walked
up.
off with them.
Okay, cool. Couldn't remember if you ditched them in the alleyway or not for a moment there. Yeah.
No, I think we wrapped them up, didn't we? And we put them in the bag, and then you ran away.
That's the one. So yeah, as you're standing at the end of the alleyway, you can see there's a big old bloodstain. Someone clearly like bled out here. This is not. This is not, oops, someone hurt themselves a bit. This is, I wonder where the corpse went. I would like to say there's police tape, but fuck, there's no such thing as police tape here. There is, however, an enforcer standing at one of the blue jackets, one of the enforcers, standing at the opening of the alleyway. He appears to be holding a pad. I would like to say it's made of paper, but it's more realistically just sort of a sheet of wood that he writes on with chalk, or maybe charcoal. You've seen lots of people use these. It's not like everyone can get a good quality chalkboard, so he just uses a piece of wood. He seems to be oh fuck it, you can overhear him. He is clearly asking people if they've seen these people, and he's showing them the underside of this board.
Can I see what is on the underside of the board at all?
Currently, he's facing away from you out of the alleyway, showing people whatever's on the underside of this board.
Okay, she's going to avoid him, just in case she happens to be on the underside of that board as well.
Okay. In what manner are you going to avoid this man? He is clearly standing in this alleyway, the opening of this alleyway. All he would need to do is look over his shoulder. I will remind you, the bloodstain is over a pile of crates.
Possibly duck down behind the crates, or see if there's any doors about that I can duck into.
Okay. Yeah, you duck in behind the crates, and you notice after a few moments that the panel, the wall next to you, is a door. It's quite well hidden, but for the fact that it has a very obvious and very new looking lock on it. A shiny brass one.
I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm going to try and open the door first, see if it is actually locked.
Yeah. You reach out, you push. I seem to recall it did have a handle. So yeah, you push, you rattle it for a moment. Yeah, nothing seems to be happening. You pull it for a moment. Similar effects. Not much going on there. So yeah, the door appears to be locked, most definitely. You do notice a little further along the wall, back up the alleyway, there is a gap between this building and the one next to it that you could squeeze down, presumably.
I'm going to head down that gap.
Or you could just walk back through the disaster zone that is bungalows.
I could. Which way am I more likely to get spotted? But I've already been spotted going the other way. I'll go back through the ruins of bungalows.
Okay. Yeah, you walk back through bungalows. There are a few people you definitely recognise as boys, BOI, from bungalows, picking through the rubble, looking for things. Or maybe they've just been put to work trying to, gather up usable rubble to rebuild the damn place. I don't know. But yeah, you walk back through. A few of them, give you a nod. A few of them give you a scowl. But yeah, before you know it, you're back in the Merchant Square.
I will try and work out which building that door with the lock belongs to and go through the front.
I'm fairly sure that the other week we defined that these two buildings are directly next to each other. They are actually neighbours with a slight gap in between. So, yeah, you look back to your right, and there is Rachel's House of Ribald Valkyries.
I'm going to wander in.
I'm pretty sure we discussed a sign for it, which I seem to recall had drinking horns and a big female symbol on it quite prominently, but I cannot remember for the life of me exactly how it went. So that's how it went.
Yeah, she's going to wander in.
Okay, yeah. So you wander on in, and the first thing you see is two very, very, very large, long tables. This is a proper, drinking hall, executed in a very sensible manner. The tables are just far enough apart for people to walk comfortably in between them. Each seat is laid out. Each sort of stump seat is just far enough apart from the others for there to be a decent amount of elbow room. There are clearly marked toilets in all four corners. This is a very, very, very well laid out, clearly well thought out drinking hall. And most of the people in here are athletic looking ladies. I wouldn't say they're all young, but a variety of ages. Dressed in what ranges from an imaginative array of leather straps to chainmail. And behind the bar is a somewhat larger, I wouldn't quite say athletic, but well-built woman in a full suit of leather armour, with some metal reinforcements on it. And she's doing the classic barkeep thing of, cleaning out a tankard with a rag. I won't say spitting in it, because that's not that kind of place.
She would definitely look around a bit amazed that there's actually some thought gone into the place. She's not used to that. And wander across to the bar.
Okay, yeah. As you wander across to the bar, you realise once again how well this place is thought out here. The seats of the leftmost table are spaced far enough away from the bar on the leftmost wall. That you could easily put 2 or 3 people abreast down here. There's easily room for another table in any other sort of establishment, but no, they've left room for people to walk to the bar from the table. It's a miracle of planning here. And as you reach the bar, you notice there are, at least after a fashion, bar stools. And if you were to hop onto one, you dare say it might even be comfortable.
Oh, she's going to hop up onto a bar stool.
Excellent. Yes, you hop onto a bar stool, and it's actually got a cushion, and it's comfortable. The cushion is recessed into a wooden stool that looks like a stump with some wooden legs on it. So actually it's a bit of a bucket seat, and you sink into it a bit.
Okay.
And you didn't expect it. It didn't look like it would do that.
She's going to jump off and have another look at it, just to inspect it, and then sit back down again.
Okay, I'm just going to have to quickly go into the engineering of how a chair would be comfortable and yet look like a piece of crap. Yeah, it appears to be a very thin piece of wooden veneer placed over a hollowed out stump with clearly has a block of foam or a spring inside it. So when you sit on it, it actually sinks. Yeah, it's nice and comfy. So there you are. You're sitting in front of a bar in a well thought out drinking hall where there are no men allowed. And the very, very large woman behind the bar looks over at you and, I'm sorry, every woman in existence, I cannot do women's voices. Says, what are you wanting, dear?
What you got?
Oh, a little of whatever you need. I mean, we've got the mead and the fire water, and if you ask really nicely, we've got a bit of bathtub gin out the back.
Oh, her eyes light up at that. Definitely the gin, please.
That we will, love. Right, will you be needing a meal, or is it just the drink for now?
What have you got food-wise?
At this point, she points to the right wall, where there is a fireplace, and in the fireplace, on a very large and impressive-looking spit, is turning a single chicken. She says, well, we've got that, or you could order something from the kitchen.
Yeah, I'll have a bit of chicken as well. Why not?
Oh, well, all in the price of the meal. Later in the day we put something better over there, but got to make sure it's sort of worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, she goes and she disappears through a door that's off to your right, which, if your mental cartography is right, is possibly where the door that you found in the alleyway connects to. And she comes out a short time later, with, I'm trying to think what coloured gin is in its natural state. I tend to only drink it with sloe gin.
That sort of colour.
Okay. Yeah. She comes back with a faintly sort of green liquid. She's like, sorry, sorry, love, it's a copper tub.
It's fine. I've drunk worse.
That we have. Well, we all have. Yeah. Anyway, you find yourself a seat, and I'm sure one of the Valks will come and see you in a minute.
Yeah, actually, and she knocks back the gin. I'm actually looking for a couple of friends. They were probably involved in a bit of a kerfuffle in the alley behind you. Lots of blood about. I wondered if you'd seen them at all.
I might know what you're talking about. What's it worth to you?
I'm just trying to locate my friends. If they're here, that's fine. I'll just sit in the bar until they turn up.
You see her look over your shoulder, just very quickly, almost too quick to spot, and you hear someone going up the stairs to the immediate left of the bar. It's not uncommon. People have been coming and going up these stairs the whole time you've sort of been here. The younger girls, sort of emerging or vanishing up there. It seems to be a fairly good turnaround. Right, you two. Sorry it's taken so long. Right, you are both thoroughly clean. Do you have any hit points whatsoever?
No.
None.
0.
Okay. The rather solidly built woman who was doing her best sort of ducking stool impression for you. She's sort of she's been tending to your wounds as best she can. I mean, this is the sort of place where they don't ask too many questions. You get the impression that they look after... Well, they typically look after women who've run away from people who leave people bruised like you are. So they have lots of sort of ointments and things like that, and topical creams, which some of which Anita might recognise when she comes to see them. But hey, so yeah, this is sort of a brothel bar / women's refuge. So they recognise their folly in beating you unconscious. Yeah, they just wanted to make you go away. So yeah, she sort of tends to your wounds a bit, and I don't think you've actually received pretty much any healing since the campaign began. So we shall say that she has some idea of what she's doing. Unfortunately, I still roll like shit. So you receive a full 4 points of health. God, that is truly ridiculous. Yeah. She clumsily applies a cool pack to your face in such a way as to smother you slightly. Yeah, she ties it to your head with a bandage that hurts. She then, she fastens it with a pin that pierces the back of your head, causing a nasty bleeding scalp wound. So you're bandaged. Your headache's sort of receding. You feel better in yourself, but you're actually literally more injured. Just a little recuperated. Yeah, you are now conscious and capable of acting under your own power. I don't know what you want to do.
Is the door into the shower immediately visible, or has Timi since left and is in eye shot to say, "Let's go" before I get made unconscious once more?
The trough you're sitting in, you'd be facing the door. Timi was having a shower somewhere that would be over your shoulder.
Okay. Zeke would probably look around and see whether he could spot anyone first time round, and then not overly, not so much as he would receive another beating from the Valk for being a man and where he is, but enough that he would try and spot Timi.
Yeah, as you as you wriggle yourself back onto your feet, maybe lift yourself out of the tub a bit.
No,
We're just gonna turn in the tub.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In the great tradition of everyone who's ever tried to roll over in a bathtub quietly, you do so with great. Unless you want to attempt to sneak on this, but you do so with great fanfare, displacing a great deal of water. It sloshes in, and more of your body than previous, is lifted out of the water, so the water level drops quite quickly and slops around a bit. Because the water is now a good deal thicker in consistency with all of the added filth off of your body. You've just had enduring road filth from many, many months of wandering. So yeah, we never discussed what skin tone he had, but it's probably slightly lighter now.
It would be the weathered tan as a Caucasian who spends most of his life outdoors.
Okay, yeah, you've got that tan that rich people spend a lot of time trying to get. Yeah. You now discover that maybe you need to work on your tan a little more. Like, you have a weathered tan, but it's not quite as sort of, sofa leathery as you thought. And as you move, pretty much the first thing you see is Timi. I mean, she hasn't even had time to wander far. Your perception of time at this point has been wildly distorted by being unconscious, being drowned. Your oxygen threatening brain death and time dilation from oxygen starvation. You've gone on like the magical mystery tour of time distortion. So yeah. As far as Timmy's concerned, it's been not very long at all.
Does Timi notice that Zeke is up and moving?
If you're paying any attention at all, you will have noticed.
Okay.
Actually,
in which case,
to deal with continuity issues, though, I would probably have to say, because for Anita, an evening has passed, and she didn't bump into you, and she's gone looking for you the next day.
Okay.
So,
in which case, I don't think she's still in the shower.
Yeah,
that's a very.
She might have gone back to the shower.
Yes, she's probably been hanging around in the room, looking a bit bored.
Yeah. You've gone down and had a good meal and a drink. You've been lent some clothes by the Valks. Proper clothes.
Proper clothes.
Yeah.
Fit and everything. Sort of.
Proper clothes. I mean, they might be a little more leathery and strappy than some. But it's like, it covers enough flesh to not be, bothered. No one will be confused.
How much blood was I able to get out of the shirt?
Not a great deal. The liquid blood washed off. The scabbing probably washed away under determined scrubbing. But there is a large browning blood stain on this shirt.
Okay. In which case, I think she is going to stick with the slightly scary, strappy clothing. And go and have a chat with Zeke and see if she can help at all before we go off and find Anita, just in case he gets whacked over the head again.
Okay,
so can I go for a medic roll?
Oh yeah. He is thoroughly black and blue.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much better. I rolled, so that's a 9.
Ooh, yeah, you with a 9, you look at the treatment he's received, and having sort of examined him briefly, just sort of with a pat down, nothing appears to be broken. He's just knackered and beaten and bruised. There's not really much you can do. You take off the bandage and retie it so it doesn't physically hurt him. The cool pack is dead, so you just steep the bandage in the water he's laying in and retie it so it's a cool bandage around his nasty bruises. There's, mechanically you've done nothing at all. But Zeke is more comfortable.
Done nothing at all apart from dirty the dirty the bandage that in river muck.
Oh no, you
that
washed
has
the river
been
muck
washed
off. This is more just like the dust that was ingrained into your clothing. Yeah, you've been left to soak in water overnight. Every iota of filth that just been like, really, really ingrained into your being has drifted off. But yeah, you don't feel great. In fact, I would go as far as to say you have a level of suffering. Don't worry about the damage. Just note the level of suffering.
Okay.
Because you were beaten unconscious only last night. And the sum total of the medical attention you've received is literally, in terms of literal maths, it's the same as what a completely unskilled medic could do to patch themselves up from receiving a single punch. It's literally the equivalent medic healing of someone shrugging off a punch. And you were beaten all the way unconscious by heavy objects. So yeah, you're not feeling great by any stretch, but you are conscious and capable.
Okay.
And in a room with your confederate. So.
So I was able to go down and get food the night before. Is that right?
Yep.
So at the risk of splitting up again, I'm going to head downstairs to see if I can bargain with them for a little bit extra food and try and sneak it back upstairs to Zeke.
Okay. As you leave the washroom and start heading down the stairs, you notice Frigg coming back up the stairs towards you. And she places a very meaty hand on your chest and pushes you back against the wall and says, "There's someone looking for you downstairs."
Did they happen to look angry or maybe male?
What are you talking about? No.
Oh, okay.
You don't let men in here.
What, conscious ones?
Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
No man comes in here and leaves untouched. But yeah, merchant looks like Rotter downstairs.
Oh, Anita, fabulous.
Oh.
Yeah, she's cool. I'm just gonna pop downstairs. I don't suppose we could bother you for a little bit of food for himself up there. He's looking a bit peaky.
Well, all right. I suppose I'll give him some wings. She goes down and she picks off like the horrible, scrawny, bony wings off of this like relatively small, scrawny chicken that's turning on the spit. She heads back on upstairs. Well, you are free to engage with Anita.
Okay. In which case, I shall go down to the bar.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Anita, you see Timi.
So I'm guessing you had some fun last night, judging by the bloodstain in the alleyway?
You say fun. We got some information and we had a little accident.
A little accident?
Well, depends on how you look at it. It was only 1, 2 if you count the big guy, but we were always going to do that. His friend was just being a bit shouty. We figured one less shouty person was better. Unfortunately, that led to a few more shouty people, and we ended up in here. Steve's not looking too great.
I can have a look at Zeke later, but yeah, your shouty people caused me trouble.
Sorry.
Yeah, and bungos kind of burnt down.
No, we never burnt bungalows down. It was still standing when we left it.
Yeah, well, no, it's not.
Did you burn it down?
I didn't burn it down.
How did it burn down?
The guy in the room upstairs shot one of the people and his gun exploded, setting everything on fire. Trying to stop them from chasing me.
So the guy in the room not the guy we were with, because, Kurt was very much a non-Kurt.
The guy I went upstairs to make sure wouldn't hear anything or do anything.
Oh, him up there.
Yeah. He kind of had a little accident that caused everything to burn.
Well, I suppose it doesn't leave any trace of us there.
I'm hoping not.
Fire, it's all gone, and then that means Kurt's well and truly gone, so no one's going to find him.
They already found him.
Oh.
That was part of the problem. That is why I couldn't get out of the building easily.
Oh. But you're here now.
Yeah.
And it's nice here, and they're safe, and they've got food, and they are really nice if you're not male.
So
look, they gave me clothes.
I didn't know you needed clothes. You had clothes last time I saw you.
No, I had no clothes. Yeah, we had a little issue in that. Well, they kind of got a bit dirty after we shot people, and we tried to escape, but then Zeke kind of put my clothes in his bag and then ran away. So it's karma.
Karma in what way?
Well, he left me naked in an alleyway with 4 guards. And then he ran in here.
Okay. Yeah, and they don't like men. Yep, I can kind of guess what happened next.
They beat him with shoes. So there was a sort of ironic twist. But yeah, we seem to have kind of cleaned it up as much as we can. He's awake now, which is good.
That's always helpful.
And Frigg has just taken him some more food. So he might be feeling a bit more talkative.
Okay. Maybe I should go have a look at him.
Might be an idea. I don't think he's capable of coming down to see you, though.
Okay, that's fine. Just show me where he is and I'll see if I can patch him up.
And I head back upstairs. And I believe it's the first door on the left.
That was Kurt's room, wasn't it?
I thought it was an identical layout, and I can't remember which room we went into. It was 2 weeks ago.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, that it is, because I can't remember either. Yeah. You've all finally got back in the same room?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, right.
How long is the question?
Depends how long it takes you to wander off again.
Yes. So, you're all back in the same room. Anita, you wander into this washroom to see Zeke, like, pummeled black and blue with a bandage wrapped around his head. That's
But
like
no
soaked
pin in
with
the back of
blood
his
and
head.
black.
I am going to try and treat him.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like all
The
of the
medic
treatment.
doing medic stuff.
Yeah. God.
That would be a 13.
Yeah, roll your healing.
That was, what was that? That was it a D4?
Only if you're
I can't
completely
remember.
unskilled.
No, I'm definitely skilled.
How many ranks in healing do you have?
I have 2 ranks.
D8.
D8. Oh, that rolled badly. That was a roll of 2.
Okay. Plus your skill bonus. Your total.
So that is 10.
Hey!
I'm doing it right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hurrah! You've gained 10 HP. Alive!
That puts me somewhat back into a healthier region.
Yeah. I assume that Anita, like, takes something from like a first aid kit. I don't know exactly how this one was going to work out, but being that she's more of a how do we put this? A chemist. Takes something out, like breaks it, holds it under your nose, and it's not necessarily that your wounds are better. It's that you feel great. You just don't care. It's not like the bruises are faded. It's not like you're actually all singing, all dancing, better, recovered, fine. But you feel like you could definitely get up and like give someone a proper fight for it if you had to now.
I've got some first aid training.
Oh yeah. But
Picked a few things up.
Oh yeah. But there's only so far first aid will take you against someone who's been beaten unconscious with blunt implements.
True.
It's not like you can sew up the knife wound. It's like, you've been hit and nothing's broken. Here, take an enormous amount of painkillers.
Yeah.
Or snort this supposedly pain-killing powder. Yeah. That's how you take a little like glass, like a vial or something, or maybe just like a waxed paper wrap, ripped it and like stuffed it under his nose. Whoa! You're full of energy. Everything feels great. The colours are brighter. Your toes hurt slightly because they curl in your boots, but you feel great. What does Zeke do? You have a rush of energy. You feel fucking amazing all of a sudden. At least by comparison.
Feeling comparatively better, Zeke's going to go, thanks for that. I've got the feeling they don't like me much in here, given recent incidents. So, what happened while I was out? When are we to start off with?
I don't know when you think we are, but it's the day after we got separated.
Well, you've only been out for, what, 12-ish hours? Maybe a bit more?
Right,
that makes it like mid to late morning.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I suppose we should be getting out of here and getting back on the look for Bill or Al?
It's Bill we're looking for, and Kurt said we needed to go to Butts. Or at least he would be likely to be there.
Yeah, Butts. We should head that way and see whether we can find our friend. I also found, and then he pats his now sort of sodden pockets from having been sat in this bath for a good 12 hours, and checks for the beer mats to see whether or not they've survived even slightly.
Yeah, you've been laying in this bath, like tossing and turning, especially just recently. You reach into your pocket and you pull out like a handful of marsh.
I suppose that's that one out. They might have been safe with Jerry, I suppose. Where is Jerry, by the way?
I would imagine he's in your bag, which they probably would have taken off you before throwing you in a bath.
Yeah, the bag was next to the shower because I'd been taking the clothes out that which had been stuffed on top of a slightly disgruntled squirrel.
Yeah. Yes. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, that in this room we have a very, very angry Scuzzle who's hungry and wet and people keep coming in and having showers, disrupting his sleep. None of them are his person, and that makes him angry. Have an unspeakably angry Scuzzle in a vile temper. But you do have some really bony, horrible chicken wings.
I think, knowing Jerry as Zeke does, he would approach sort of chicken wing offered, and just go, "It's all right now, boy. We'll be out of here before you know it." And sort of hand him probably the bonier looking of the two chicken wings, and start on the other one as he makes for the door.
So you can you just like throw it into your pack. You just the other wing, you just like chuck it into the open neck of the bag, pick it up and like chuck it on your back or something.
Yeah, I sort of place it in and make sure he's in there.
Yeah. Oh, you can definitely see angry, damp Scuzzle fur. Like, it's bristling yet damp.
I sort of give him a tap to get his attention and then give the chicken wing to him.
Yeah, the tap is slightly slightly misjudged. You kind of resent here. You grasp that he resents the tap. The calm, docile head looks angry. The angry head looks ferociously pissed off. The angry head bites the chilled out head like a few times while they fight for the chicken wing. Obviously they both feel each other's pain also, so they both yelp when one bites the other. But yeah, you hear this chicken wing being like messily devoured all over everything else in your bag. For God's sake, you weren't keeping any tack in your bag, were you?
Unfortunately, I'd say I was, but it'd probably be in a pocket where Jerry doesn't have access to easily. Otherwise, it would all go as soon as it went in the bag.
Well, for the sake of ease, we'll assume whatever like small pouch or pocket you keep your tack in is waterproofed. Because I'm not that mean this time. Yeah. You if you had any of that meat left, it's gone. But hey. Yeah. He's you get the impression that having finished his poultry meal, like Jerry is looking for other things to eat in your bag. You feel him moving. Yes, you are. You're now all together. You're all on your feet. What's the next move?
So Bots is within the same sort of area, isn't it? They're all in a sort of
it's like 2 doors down.
Slightly smudgy square. So I guess we need to head downstairs and thank our hosts. Before we leave, and maybe keep them sweet. Certainly want on side, and not hurting Zeke as he leaves.
As you come on down, Rachel steps to the side of the bar where you have the opening hatch, which you'd both remember well because she opened it so you could get upstairs. She comes there, she opens the hatch, she comes to you on the stairs. So you don't have to enter into the main room, especially with Zeke. Because people come here to get away from men, and parading a bloke through probably wouldn't be the best message. It wouldn't be on brand for them. So she ushers you through into the kitchen in the back. And in the kitchen you see two sort of well-fed blokes in a close approximation to chef whites. I mean, they appear to be sort of in natural cottony tones, so it's sort of chef creams. And they're doing all the cooking and having a few drinks while they're at it. They seem to be perfectly happy. And at which point Rachel sort of pulls Timi to one side and says, "So, well, we've I see you've dealt with the lad. I don't want you to feel we're imposing on you, but you imposed on us. So I'm not saying this is blackmail, but we'd appreciate something for our trouble."
What sort of thing are you looking for?
Well, traditionally, in these circumstances, there's a certain exchange of value for a service in the form of monetary recompense.
Okay. And how valued are you not blackmailing that service to be?
I'm glad we speak the same language. Well, it's, as I said, it's not blackmail. We're just looking to, remain in a position to keep helping. How valuable do you feel the service was?
Well, rather than anything which is a physical item, because I'm not sure, we're carrying an awful lot. There's not a lot of places to keep physical items in the clothing. Maybe we could offer you services. You've done a favour for us. Maybe we could do a favour for you.
Now, you're going to have to tell us what you mean by that, love. Because traditionally, we're in the services industry.
Rather than making people feel better, I'm rather good at making people feel worse. If there's anybody you feel requires decoupling from any part of their body, you've got a lot of ladies here with a few regrets of previous friends. Let's put them like that, friends. Maybe we could pay a visit, pay off a few debts, pay back a few people, so to speak. Be happy to do it.
Or I can just heal people.
Maybe I could take something off and she could sew it back on the wrong way.
I don't think you grasp what we do here. And I think you'll agree. And she pulls I think it was a beaded curtain, wasn't it? She pulls the beaded curtain across and gestures at the girls outside, or ladies. And on closer inspection, you notice that almost all of them, at some point in their attire, they're a pair of brass knuckles. These are well muscled, women of an assortment of ages, all of whom are armed.
I see.
So, we don't have any trouble, dealing with our regrets, as you call them.
Okay.
You might even say
Maybe-
it's part of what binds us together. We keep each other's secrets. In return for a, maintenance fee.
Sure, sometimes those disagreements end up with a few injuries for the girls. I'm pretty nifty with fixing people. Making them better, not Timmy's way of fixing things.
Oh, mine stay fixed.
Yeah, they stay down.
Well, what have you got to offer us, dear? We're none of you are regular visitors. I mean, we've seen you two around before. Says pointing at the ladies, obviously. But you're not. It's not like you're local.
I can become local or pop in every time I'm around. Seems to work down the road.
Down the road where?
I can't remember the name of the place. What's it called?
Madam something's knocking ship.
Yes. Madam Nooches.
Oh.
Mm.
You're Nooch's secret weapon, are you?
I
Cleanest
might.
girls in town, they say.
Yeah, I might have something to do with that. I can always extend my services further.
Well, if you can assure me that you're going to terminate your association with Nooches and work for us exclusively, I think we can sort something out.
You see, unfortunately, Madam Nooch has done me well, and I can't really just cut the place off. However, I can
Well,
offer you the
see,
same
We've done
service.
you well also, when the guards come on round, when the enforcers knock on my door, we said we didn't know anything.
Did you also beat our friend to a pulp?
Well, a
And
man bursts into your living room, what do you do?
You were asking why he's there?
No. Pummeling first, questions later.
I was
The enforcers know this. This is why they didn't walk in.
I was helping put a fire out last night, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
These two. I hear that our rather lovely friend here is wanted for murder.
Timmy?
Judging by the amount of blood she came in dressed in, I'm inclined to believe them.
Murder. I was just easing him in the right direction.
Which one?
No, the guy in the corridor, that was
which
murder.
of the two people who were murdered near you last night? Did you just ease on their way?
The boy was definitely murder.
The
I
boy
can't
was
deny that
definitely a
one.
murder.
Yeah. I can't deny that one. But then equally, we do have assault and battery. And grievous bodily harm. He was unconscious for 12 hours.
Yes.
Not ladylike.
Not much of a concern here. So, what will you consent to? What are your terms? What are you willing to offer?
I'm happy to offer the services I give to Madame Nooch, but not exclusively. I will offer you the same services. No questions asked for any additional injuries.
Well, that sounds okay then. Yeah, I think we can do that. Right, you've got a deal. And she shakes your hand and says, Ronnie, they've made us a deal. And the larger of the two portly gentlemen in the chef's whites comes over and he wipes his hand on his apron and shakes your hand also. At which point you notice they're both wearing a ring on the requisite finger. And it occurs to you that maybe there are some men who are allowed in here. Yeah, Ronnie, to all intents and purposes, appears to be Rachel's husband. And the other fellow, he looks remarkably like them. Both of them. We'll ask
Family
no
business, I
questions.
see.
Yeah, we'll ask no questions of that arrangement, but hey. It appears the woman who runs the only lesbian brothel in town is married with a husband and a child. Then again, it could be that most of the Valks out there are also wearing a wedding ring. They might all be married to the same couple. Who knows? It might be a massive polygamous thing. Who knows? But hey.
Who are we to judge?
Yeah. I think it's lovely. A little family in a horrible world. But yeah, they the younger fella, he goes and he pulls a rather large, like new, shiny bronze key out of his pocket and unlocks the back door. And he scowls a bit at you. Break my fucking door. Bastards.
I believe I only picked the lock. I didn't break it down, I don't think.
Yeah, but you picked the fuck out of that lock. I'm not sure if it ever properly closed again.
But as Zeke steps out into the world at large, wanting to be free of the House of Elks once again, he's going to stick his head out and have a quick look up and down the alleyway to make sure there's no one there.
Yeah, as you look up the alleyway, you see a few of like the sort of the shiftless derelict you tend to see in alleyways. You know, a few crates, and, you know, the large improvised bins that they put out the back of these places. And down the alleyway, depending on how you drive up and down, is the crates, a large bloodstain, and a blue coat enforcer showing passers-by something on a piece of wood, saying, "Have you seen these people?"
Zeke is going to head out and towards the vagrants.
Okay.
Is it just one enforcer?
Yeah. I've left one dude on canvas at the scene.
And it's just the vagrants. How far towards the entrance of the alleyway is he? Are we?
He is standing just outside the alleyway. You guys are probably sort of 10-15 metres down.
Okay. In which case, as Zeke heads towards the vagrants, I'm going to stick my head out, just take a couple of side steps out of the door, and whistle at him. At the enforcer, not Zeke.
Okay.
and remembering that I'm still wearing some of Rachel's interesting attire, I'm going to kind of strike a bit of a pose, but with my arms behind my back, and wait for him to come towards me.
Okay, yeah. So you step out into an alleyway and you like give a wolf whistle to this dude, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How tall is Timi?
She's 5'10".
Okay. Yeah. After a few moments, you kind of get the impression that he's just sort of frozen. You see him sort of flinch slightly. The enforcer turns around. Unfortunately, you're standing behind a pile of crates. So he turns around and he sort of just sees sort of your head.
Okay.
Which is similar, if not in it by any means identical to the mugshot he's been showing people all day.
Mm-hmm.
And he flips he sees you and his face goes a little bit white. And he flips the board round and looks down at it and back up at you. At which point,
Okay.
like, everything about him goes pale.
And as he looks down,
he just makes a run for it.
ah, shit.
He rabbits off to his right.
In which case, I think we probably need to rabbit off to the left.
You hear a shout, "It's them! I found them!" So you're going to rabbit off up the alleyway? Or are you going to leave the alleyway and run off to the left?
Can we leave the alleyway at this point?
Well, yeah. You can follow him out of the alleyway.
Yep.
Or you can run the other way up it. Or you could... You have an alleyway. Here. Here's just run off that way. You could leave the alleyway and go that way. Or you could walk back up the alleyway.
I think we need to go the opposite way.
You run back up the alleyway, past the vagrants. Past the...
Yeah.
Past the arson
Well,
site.
Zeke's that way.
Well, yeah. Zeke, how do you respond to how do you respond to the group's resident murderer? like cold-blooded murderer for very good reason of people who are trying to help you. Like wolf whistling to the cops looking for you.
In the first instance, he's going to hope that he didn't just hear what he just heard, and that it was all that funny imagination of his. And then hearing the cop run one screaming, "It's them! It's them!" We'll look back and sort of shout down the way to it's time to get a move on before breaking into a pretty hefty dash up the alleyway to try and see whether there's a crowd at the other end that he can disappear into. Well,
Okay, yeah. So I assume you're probably going to join in this headlong dash up the alleyway.
Yeah, Anita's going to walk out after hearing the wolf whistle shout to me, "What were you thinking?" and follow them.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're Jesus Christ. You're slamming it up this alleyway. The vagrants scattering out of your way. Christ, it's them! Running through the still warm like rubble. They're fleeing through the ashes of bungalows. Like, don't let them get me. I heard she did it for no reason. Look at the size of that guy's gun. Because I realise I have unfairly been attributing 2 murders to Timi. Where it was in fact Zeke who shot Kurt through the face.
with provocation.
He mentioned your hat, and you shot him through the face. But yeah, so you're fleeing up this alleyway. Vagrants bursting out of like cover all around you, panicking and flapping around. You start to hear a bell sounding from the square. It's the same bell that Anita heard yesterday when they were trying to put the fire out. There's clearly an alarm bell for just shit is going down.
Oh crap!
Yeah. You start to hear sort of shouts from behind you. By this point, you can't make out any definitive words. There's just angry sounding shouting. You emerge from the alleyway at the other end into some sort of a ruined street. Clearly, these buildings haven't been repurposed. People are still living in some of them. Sort of lean-tos and like bits of like canvas or other cloths, patching up, whacking great big holes in walls where the stone's either been blasted out, crumbled in, or been salvaged for other buildings. But yeah, you are now in like the shabby residential bits out the back of Ooze Town.
Do I immediately notice anywhere to hide, or do I need to roll for finding somewhere good to hide?
If you gave me a perception, you could find a place to hide. If you gave me like a perception sneak, you could look for a good place to hide.
Perception sneak it is. Which modifier do I add to that? Or both?
You add your perception plus your ranks.
Perception plus ranks is a 16.
Fuck. Yeah, you find the shit out of a place to hide. You're running along, and all of a sudden it occurs to you that the wall to your immediate right is primarily composed of canvas, and you could easily just like slip under it. Like, it looks fine. You can't hear anyone on the other side of it. Like, there's a trace of smoke, but there's no fire. Clearly, whoever lives here isn't here right now.
Okay. As these two catch up without any sort of warning, sort of shove them through the canvas and then dive inside as well.
Yeah. So the canvas comes down to meet sort of a 2-foot high wall, so you just sort of shove them over it, and you end up in a sort of slightly unceremonious heap inside what was once someone's kitchen. Now it's just sort of a square room, but all the places where the walls have kind of fallen in have been replaced with it's a bit like a tent, sort of in overall feel, but there's sort of 2 foot of brickwork around the bottom. So technically it is a temporary structure by legal terms if you look at the council, but because we looked into that once. Anyway, so yeah, you're sitting in a cold, dark room, and if you are perfectly quiet, this will be a very good hiding place. You just noticed a little gap where you could jump through. Where it wasn't like battened into the top of the bricks. But you were looking for it. So I need all of you to give me sneak.
That is a 17.
Yeah, I'm going to roll that again.
Okay.
I rolled 1. Oh, well, you know I'm not sneaky, but that's ridiculous. Well, that didn't really help. Yeah, so in total, 5.
12.
Okay, yeah. So you pile into this dark room. Anita, You probably are last. So, actually, I've Zeke chucked you through and then jumped in, so you land quite heavily on Timi, who like grunts in pain, and you like roll off and find something to hide behind. And it's an old sideboard that someone's ripped off the wall. And you sort of scooch down behind it. It's not perfect, and it's the doors of the cupboards in it have been ripped off. So if someone did come in, they could look through it. But it's all right. You have no idea where Zeke is. You hear him come in, but in the dark, you have no idea where he's gone. Timi, you are sure you're being quiet. You can barely hear yourself breathing after the cursing and grunt finishes. So I assume there's some cursing after being, after meeting Anita sort of knees first. She gets tumbled over a wall. But yeah, you're pretty sure you're being very quiet. As you like scramble on your knees over like rubble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah. No, you're not. The other two can hear you clearly.
Okay.
As you the curses you think you're muttering to yourself under your breath are audible on the other side of the room. But yeah, after a few moments, you start to hear footfalls. You hear people running, and not the panicking vagrants anymore. It seems to be a group of people running. I mean, there are enough of them that Timi actually feels the vibrations through the floor. You hear split up and look for them. But where did they go, sir? It's like, I don't fucking care. Look for them. That's the point of looking. They just vanished. It's like witchcraft. You stupid boy Pike. You hear someone receiving a heavy thudding blow. I'm sorry, Uncle Frank. And I know that's a bit of an amalgamation of characters, but and you hear people spreading out. Sort of, Someone says, one of the voices on the other side is like, search pattern Delta. And you hear at least 6 or 7 other people like, what the fuck does that mean? These officers get all kinds of stupid ideas in their head. This lot have killed one of our own. Was it just one? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. They killed one of our own. We've got to find her. All right, sir. All right. Do you think we can go for a drink later? Yeah. This won't take too long. And you hear people spreading out. And at this point, Timi, you start to get the mother of all cramps, and you need to move. You are crouching on a pile of rubble, in the lee of this wall, immediately on the other side of the wall from the alleyway. So you flop down onto your butt, with your legs in front of you, and your back against the wall, making, to be honest, not a terribly loud noise, but one that is definitively someone moving. And
okay.
You hear the people walking down the alleyway like, huh, what was that? I think it came from over there. Where? That one. All right. Hey guys. And before you know it, you can hear sort of about at least 5 voices that you can differentiate. I mean, maybe someone's just being an arse and doing silly voices, but you can hear 5 separate voices. Yeah. It's like, right. Just close in quickly. And then what we do is we pull the canvas off. And you see the canvas tightening. You see like fingers grasping it from the outside. In that horrible horror movie way that canvas does. You know, and you see shapes pressing into it from the other side. I think there was a Muse video like that once. No, it was another one. I can't remember. Brian Malco lead singer. I can't remember who the band was though. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, so the hands pressing into the canvas are like taking fistfuls. What the hell are you guys going to do? He's clearly about to like rip the roof off of your hiding place. Yeah, it's a great hiding place while it has a roof.
Do I scope out sort of is there a back way to leave?
Oh yeah, this was a house. I mean, there's a doorway out of here. And you think this is like it's not exactly a back room of a house, but it's, you know, one of the rooms that's like branched immediately off of a corridor up to the front door.
Any chance of riding my 17 from before? I can sneak my way sort of out that way.
Yeah, let's say that's why they couldn't find you. You've left the room and snuck into the hallway, assuming they'd follow you. You are currently like crouched next to what passes for a front door here, which is basically just like a sheet of corrugated iron that's been leant against the hole. It's got like they've drilled 2 holes into the wall and they've stuck a piece of rope through it, so there's like a rudimentary rope hinge, so you can't just walk off with their sheet of metal without cutting the rope. But yeah, you're currently there by that door. Right. You two, is there anything you guys are going to try and do as it slowly becomes apparent that like these people are about to search your hiding place?
Can I see that doorway?
It is very, very dark in here. And you didn't notice it when you were looking for a place to hide when you came in.
Okay.
So as far as
you can still do perceptions, you can still try another sneak, you can try any other skill you can justify to try and do something in this room. I'm just saying, at this particular moment, you haven't yet seen it.
I'm going to have a look to see if I can see a back way out. Or a different way out.
Okay.
13. Perception.
You don't see any way out of the room, though you figure out there's got to be one here. You do, on the other hand, find a cupboard that's built into the wall, which, were you to climb in, it's currently, the door is slightly open. You sort of find it with your hands as you're feeling down the wall. If you climb in there, you'd be a bastard to find. Being that it's behind a fallen over sideboard.
I am going to try and hide in that cupboard.
Okay. Well, you can just do that. I mean, give me a sneak to see if you can do it quietly.
Mm. 12.
Yeah, you managed to pull the door the rest of the way open quietly, and you get inside. It was empty. It's been like ransacked long ago. The sideboard that you were hiding behind seems to be holding all of the crockery the person who currently using this place owns. one of those people who just leaves it on the side and washes it when they need it, like me. Yeah. Right, Timi. You
Okay.
you have heard these people. You have seen the hands, like, because you're sitting immediately under this wall. You have seen like people grabbing this canvas. You've seen
Okay.
the hands like emerging above your head.
Can I get to the hands?
Oh yeah.
I can.
The closest set of hands is probably like within a few feet of you.
Okay. In which case,
God, you're going to nail someone to a tent, aren't you?
no, no, I'm not. I want them to think that they don't really want to put their hands on the canvas. So I'm going to take the needle, which is still in the slightly rotting ear, and I'm going to stab the fingers from underneath. Just not sort of like a proper like stab, get away from me. Just almost as if they've grabbed something and it's spiky. So I want them to think that what they've grabbed underneath probably has thorns or something spiky that they don't want to touch. So as they kind of do that, I'm just going to stab their fingertips.
Okay. So there are 10 hands.
Yeah, just.
Okay. So you're probably only going to get one person.
Yeah, but then if one person says, "Ow, that hurts," then.
Yeah, okay. You can give it a go. I mean, how are we going to rationalise this one? Or are we just going to say, yeah, fuck it, you can just stab someone in the fingers? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're kind of trying to make it especially hurt using torture, but yeah, you can just do this.
I don't think I'm torturing them.
You jab a guy in the hands, or you jab a person in the hands, and there is a yelp of pain. Oh, Jesus! What the fuck was that? I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding, Frank. I'm bleeding. Shut up, you stupid boy. You hear another meaty thud. Sorry, Frank. And the hands reappear above you.
Okay. In which case, so are these would we assume that these are the same hands? So there are different pairs of hands appearing through the canvas, or
there are 5 people grasping this canvas. They're going to attempt to rip it off this building.
Okay.
And with that, they rip it off the building. In fact, let's see. Yes, they crit. They rip it off the fucking building.
Oh God.
Yeah, this canvas is torn from the ceiling, and it falls directly onto Timi.
No.
It's pulled across the room. They let it fall loose onto Timi. As five burly people. I keep saying men. I don't necessarily mean a group of men. 5 burly people, in padded sort of, jackets, assorted little bits of padded armor. Hop over this small wall. Sort of truncheons in hand. Right, spread out and look for them. We know we heard something. All right, Frank. Just get going. And you hear them, they pick you. You hear them like roll the sideboard over, and the door of the cupboard you're in, is ever so very, very slightly open. It wouldn't close properly. They roll the sideboard over onto it, and it slams. Yeah, you no longer have any visibility of the outside. But you're buried under, a fairly heavy grade canvas. So it's probably not easiest place to breathe. But, you haven't been seen. Zeke, you're standing in a corridor that's no longer dark. Next to a door. 5 people at the other side of this doorway, actively looking for anyone who may be hiding within.
Are there any other doors off, or is going through the door quietly the best option?
Well, you are currently standing right next to this door. There is a set of stairs.
Um,
Sort of halfway back towards the doorway you came through.
I'm going to try and quietly move this piece of corrugated steel and slip out into whatever is outside.
Okay. Right. You take a strength test to move this door, whereas two of the guys. Oh, I'll be generous. Two of these enforcers will attempt to see you.
12.
A 12 and a 5. So you throw your weight against the door, which you don't weigh much, and it starts to move. But being that you've thrown your weight against a door that's designed to be lifted and moved, it opens quickly but not quietly. And there's a rather horrible sort of shuddering, grinding noise, as corrugated iron does. If you try and drag it across anything, it buzzes, and vibrates, and judders, and bounces. It's a fucking horrible thing to try and move quietly, especially if you have to drag it. One of the two guys immediately notices, and it's like, I've got someone, and he rushes out into the hallway, raises his truncheon, and takes a swing. Yeah, and he connects with your elbow. It's just as you're like ducking out the door. Oh Jesus! Oh, for 9 points.
Did the coat of armor the armor that I got include sleeves or?
No, it was a vest.
No. Yeah. Right. So that's 6 that I take, then knocking off my endurance. I'm still standing.
Yep. Thank Christ.
And sort of receiving this blow, like stumbled slightly and mildly cursing, sort of bolt down the alleyway, whatever open space I've just found myself in.
You're in a sort of an open roadway.
Are there many people about?
No, not this time of day. Yeah,
No.
Most people are off doing things.
Yeah.
Actively going about the business of the day.
Yeah, it will then just be sort of a dead sprint down the roadway.
As you come out the door, do you go left or right?
I don't have a coin anywhere. Right.
Excellent. Cool. Right, so you other two, you hear the guys going like, "I got one," and you hear a meaty thwack, and then Timi, you hear just at the edge of your hearing the now familiar sound of Zeke running the fuck away. Leaving you in danger. You can always tell when it's Zeke running away because his large gun gets in the way and it gives him a sort of shuffle in his step. Anita, you inside your now sort of trapped inside a cupboard. You two hear someone shouting like, "I got one!" You hear a rather unpleasant sounding thud, and you both hear two sets of footsteps sort of leaving the room. Yeah. Leaving you with 3 people to worry about as they continue sort of kicking things over and poking around.
Can I get to the edge of the canvas without being noticed?
You can try. I mean, you have no idea where these people are looking. If they're
Yeah.
you'd only have a vague awareness. You know, to be fair, with Timi's hearing, she'd also probably only have a vague idea of whether they were in the room or not.
Okay. So better to be proactive than reactive. I'm going to attempt to sneak to the edge of the canvas and try and peek out to work out whereabouts they are.
Okay. Are you going to attempt to crawl under the canvas into the room, or like gather the canvas and so you have the canvas between you and the room?
So the canvas. I figure if I move the canvas, they're going to notice. So what I want to do is I kind of want to use the canvas as cover, and then just like belly crawl underneath it.
Okay.
If I can get to the edge, then I can work out where I need to get to next.
Okay. I am going to say that you can crawl under this canvas without any tests, without any sneak. They're searching a room. Things are falling over. They're breaking crockery. They're searching loose piles of rubble. They're not checking the tarp behind them, basically. They're ripping open cabinets. They're looking in the corridor now. Like two of them have left and gone out the front door.
Okay, so when I get to the edge of the canvas, can I see where the other three are?
Yeah. You. I mean, it's no longer dark. It's only late morning.
Okay. And will I have known where Anita is hiding?
No, you'd have no idea. I mean, Anita hid and then went to somewhere better without breaking cover. So, yeah, you get into the room. You notice there's one guy. He seems to be looting the content. What was previously the crockery and personal items that were sitting on the sideboard. He just seems to be throwing them in a small bag. Like, it's incidentals. It's all part of the search. There's another guy he's walking out into the hallway, which you can now see, with the door you can now see. And the other guy is currently he's sort of poking the ashes of the fire, trying to tell how long the owners have been away. Sort of. If you've hidden anything in the fire pit. I mean, he doesn't know the details of this search. He's been told he needs to go and search things. So he's like, alright, fuck it. Look busy.
What kind of shoes are they wearing?
They're wearing basically the only item of uniform they're wearing is their jacket. The rest is just whatever shit they could throw together. Most of them appear to be wearing sort of heavy boots. I mean, albeit on the more improvised side of things. Most of it seems to be made of leather. Some of it's just sort of like raw hides. But they all have like big stompy soles with nails through them. And big old hobnail boots.
Okay. And from where I am, how close is the door that Zeke scarpered through?
It's probably less than 3 meters away. Once you've crawled to basically the middle of the room under this tarp, and this tarp is probably covering a quarter of the room.
Okay. In which case, I think probably what I'm going to do is to crawl to the side of the room where these people are not, unless they are. Are they all over?
Yeah, there's the guy on the right is like poking around in the fire pit, and the guy on the left is looting the sideboard. There's a guy
Okay.
in the doorway looking away from you, like looking in the. He's heading towards going upstairs, basically. He hasn't done it yet.
Okay. Hmm. So as far as I'm aware, I don't know that either of them have actually left the room. Apart from potentially having half heard Zeke.
Yeah, you've heard Zeke. You heard them saying that they've seen one of you, and you've heard Zeke running away.
Okay, so what I am going to do is hopefully the two who are to the left are engrossed. I really hope they're engrossed. And I'm going to move as quietly across the room as I can, and just sneak up behind the one in the door.
Okay, give it a shot. Give me a sneak.
Okay. This is going to go so horribly wrong. Oh, no, it's not. I crit.
Sweet, yeah. You manage. You literally just hop out from under the canvas and like dart across the room.
Okay.
The two guys searching the room don't even look up.
Oh.
The guy in the corridors just made it to like the foot of the stairs and is about to like turn round to go up them.
So he's about to turn to go up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to flatten myself against the doorway until he goes up the stairs. And I'm going to wait till he's about halfway up and just kind of sneak through the door. As Zeke gave me my clothes back, which was quite useful. I don't think I actually put them on, but I think I took. No, I did.
You did take them back,
I did. I did take them back. So in which case, I'm going to step through the doorway. I'm going to shoot the guy in his head with my nail gun.
Okay.
So he can't follow us.
Right.
Only one of us has left so far.
Mm-hmm.
No one gets left behind.
Right.
Or at least we shouldn't, because we keep breaking up.
Yeah. Right. Get with the shooting then.
Right then. Gun. 5. That would make that 9. That's not very good.
Yeah. You whip out your nail gun, and with the loud and now familiar thunk, it throws a nail considerably further than nail guns are conventionally meant to. It flies like the 8 meters across this hallway and embeds itself like deep in the wall on the other side, flying harmlessly over this guy's shoulder. The bloke is very like he sees this nail like humming in the wall, the like ring of steel in the air, and he flinches massively. Fuck it, he dives through the front door. The little scream. Fuck it, I already saw the nail. I can't get away with that. Yeah, he dives outside and he's like, "They're shooting at me, Frank! They're shooting!" And yeah, from behind you, you hear the two guys who are in the sort of the kitchen room. Like, what the fuck? Oh god, and again. And yeah, they pile on into the corridor behind you. And okay, the thief is going to try and thwack you in the knees with his club, and the experienced veteran, who's basically sick of this shit, is going to try and grapple you.
Okay.
So, oh god, I've just crit you in the knees.
Oh,
So that will be.
need to get out the cupboard.
God. Yeah, that will be 8 damage. 9,
Ouch.
11 damage to the knees.
Ouch.
And
Okay.
it throws you forward like onto your knees, which is even less welcome, having just been smashed in the leg.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that leaves you on your knees, gasping in pain, I presume. You know,
Yeah.
laying on
Yeah.
the goddamn floor. At which point, a man we will call Frank turns up and, oh god, he rolls a 9 to grapple you.
Okay.
Don't know what you want to resist with. If you want to try and be dexterous while writhing on the floor in agony, or just bat him away with strength.
I think strength. Strength is definitely, yeah. Oh shit. So botched.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. You.
I might.
Yeah. Are you going to legendary it?
Yeah, that's my second legendary. I can't not. I've only got. Oh shit. Okay. Fair enough. So that's 4 in total.
Okay. Yeah. Things go less great. The other guy, who we call Frank, picks you up handily. Just like picks you up, and you feel your ankles being bound because they're not taking any chances. They're going to disable your legs and then tie them together. And you hear the thief say, "So we've got to take them to Bill, yeah?" You hear Frank say, "Yes, of course we do. Won't be doing for people to go around murdering. Not murdering enforcers. Yeah. Why the fuck do you think we took this job? It's so people wouldn't try and kill us." And they bind your wrists also. If you want to resist, you can.
Yes. Yes, why not?
Yeah. Right. Oh god, it's only a 7.
Strength again, I guess.
Yeah.
That's okay. 8.
Yeah, They managed to get a rope around your wrists, but you managed to struggle in such a way that it's an utterly shitty bond. Like, you could easily just pull your hands out of it. Yeah, and you know your way around a rope. But they think that they're doing well. You managed to do like the rope. You managed to do like the cable tie trick. You keep your wrists like braced in the wrong way, and then you can just like slip out. That sort of thing.
Okay, so I'm going to actually, although they've not bound it very well, I'm going to let them think that they've bound it, and I'm going to hold on to the rope.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. At that, Frank is going to go and put you down next to the door. He's like, right, we've got this one. Let's look for the other one. For Christ's sake. Then we can all get back to the bar.
Okay, so I'm going to just he's placing me, hopefully, down. I'm just going to call him over. Okay. Your name's Frank, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think you could just come here? Just give me a hand with something for a second?
with a sort of exasperated sigh, he takes a couple of steps back towards you. It's like, what is it?
Like, look, just look at something for me, just over here. Just I can't quite reach. It's the back of my head. Do you think you could just pull this bit here for me?
I think this is going to have to be manipulate.
I'll do. Can manipulate. That's fine.
I just handed you like a James Bond capture on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to try and sneak out of it, you're going to need to manipulate me.
15, 17.
Oh, for f***ing yeah, okay. Wilson, who you can... Frank Wilson, who you can now see has Frank Wilson written on his front. And you notice he's wearing sergeant stripes. He comes on over and he scratches the back of your head.
And as he scratches the back of my head, I am going to undo the rope, wrap it around his neck, and pull.
All right, give me a grapple then. 13.
Shit, 12.
Yeah, you undo the rope, you wrap it around his neck, and he pulls it loose.
That was worth a try.
He pulls it loose and just ducks his head back out of it. So what the hell do you think you're doing? He just pushes you over. Your feet are still bound.
It was worth a shot. I'm just going to sit on the floor quietly then.
So you're bloody lucky that was me. If it'd been any of the other idiots, it wouldn't have been such a nice time for you. So if you'd been awfully good sport and just let us bind your arms, we'll take you to Bill and it'll all get resolved.
Okay.
Excellent. And this time he binds your arms properly. You're not struggling, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Binds your arms properly. Even for the time being, adds an extra rope between the binding between your wrists and the binding between your ankles. So you're now forced to sit.
That's strangely familiar.
Yes. I mean, it's a fairly long rope, sort of between. It's a couple of feet long. It's not awkward, but if you were trying to get up and move, you will be hunched over. You'll be forced to always keep your wrists sort of a foot and a half from your ankles. You can't exactly run like that. Not that you can run with your ankles tied together, but hey. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. But yeah. Yeah. And Wilson, Frank, goes off with the thief back into the other room. And eventually the boy comes back in and climbs the stairs. He's looking incredibly wary of you. And as he passes, he takes your nail gun. He throws it into a bag that he's carrying on his person. Bloody dangerous. Nearly took my fucking head off. And he heads upstairs.
Okay.
So yes. Who should we join next?
While they're dealing with Timi in the corridor, can I try and get out the cupboard?
Yeah. We've got a few minutes left, but yeah. You hear the commotion in the hallway, and then more commotion in the hallway, and a thunk, and a struggle, and finally you hear You hear something you never thought you'd hear. You hear Timi promising to be a good girl. And a decidedly pleasant and sensible man. Speaking in a calm, fatherly voice. And an idiot screeching. And a few moments after this all sort of resolves. You hear a scuffling as fingers are worked behind some fallen furniture, and you hear. A few minutes after that, you hear that horrible noise when people drag a table over a floor without lifting it. That horrible squeaking noise as the sideboard is pulled back away from the wall. Oh, a cupboard. Wonder what's in there. Oh, give it a rest. Does it matter what's in? You've practically come on patrol with a fucking shopping bag. Well, you know, if you're gonna wear the coat, you might as well get your money's worth. All right. Just, I wasn't here, yeah. And you.
While they're having this discussion, can I have hold of my big stick and just jump out of the cupboard and whack them one? If they've shifted the sideboard.
Yeah, you can try. I mean, you haven't even opened the cupboard yet. You're not sure if the sideboard's all the way out the way. You've just heard it moving.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to roll this dice to determine how many feet they have moved the sideboard. Okay. Right. So, go ahead. You're going to burst out of the sideboard and go to cudgel someone, yes?
Mm-hmm. What do you want me to roll?
Well, we're going to have to do an armed CC, but...
Mm-hmm. That is 11 in total. If I'm rolling it right.
Right, yeah. You burst out of the door. Notice, just in a calm and detached manner, that they have dragged this sideboard 5 feet very quickly. You raise your large stick and you swing it at a small, lanky, snivelly-looking man, and you catch him squarely on the end of the nose.
Ooh.
4? How much damage?
That is 10 damage.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you catch him, squarely on the nose, which detaches almost wholesale from his face. I mean, there's ripping. It's awful. Yeah, he falls to the floor. There's bleeding. He's gurgling. He screams in that way that people who are sort of find their nasal cavity filling with blood do. Yeah, to be fair, he has a far more cavity to his nasal area than most people. As his nose hangs off to the right by a tiny flap of skin. Yeah, the majority of his nose is hanging on by his right nostril. As you smack him in the face with the force of a rifle shot. Jesus God. You get the impression if no one helps this man soon, he will die. Yeah. And as you do so, you see a large, a tall, thin, stately-looking gentleman, also in a blue jacket, turn round from where he was standing in the hallway. What the bloody hell? And he's not He's not going to fuck about. He sees what's just happened to the thief. He's just going to throw himself at you. In a full-on grapple. I mean, he's done well with this already today. So resist his grapple.
Can I do it with Dex because I can see him coming?
Yep, of course you can.
Ooh, that is 13.
He only got an 11. So yeah, in that classic of every goddamn rugby match anyone ever forced me to watch, he dives at you in what would be a perfectly executed tackle, and you lightly step out the way. He crashes onto the rubbly floor. You actually feel a little sorry for him. Yeah, he has resorted to a non-lethal means of restraint. Every possible opportunity. He asked his prisoner to submit. He's just crashed onto a nasty, like, rubbly concrete floor. It's probably hurt him quite a bit. Yeah, you see his uniform start to, like, fray. He gives out a pained grunt as he hits the ground. So there you are with Sergeant Frank Wilson laying on the floor before you.
I want to knock him out, but he's also been nice and not used too much violence.
No, you can still knock him out.
I can.
In theory, unless you kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the problem. I'm going to ask him if he's going to stay down, and then if he says anything or tries to get up, I'm going to whack him over the head.
Give me an intimidate. It's definitely an intimidate power move.
That's a botch.
Oh, you botched.
I botched.
Please tell me you have any points.
I do, yes.
Well, being that we're currently running 8 minutes over time, it might be time to use them.
Yep.
In fact, you could even do the thing of just... Oh, how many have you got? You've only got one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Reroll then. Please let this end on let the session end on a nice note.
That is... Was it manipulate?
It's intimidate.
Intimidate. In intelligence?
Yeah, you can do intelligence. Yeah. You're asking him nicely. You're appealing to his intellect.
That's 13.
Yeah. You come up with something snappy like, you appreciate how hard it is to walk without legs, right? He's like, yes. Stay down. You didn't see me. He's like, alright. Not worth my job. Shit. Yes. And Anita walks out into the corridor and finds the restrained Timi. And at that note, we shall end. With the group having been together for less than 2 hours and then split up again due to Zeke's intense cowardice. But yeah, this is the bit I can never remember. So, wow, completely blank. Yeah, I was thirsty. You could find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP. You can find me on bloodthirstypups.co.uk. Yeah, I was the world. I thought this was great fun. I really wish I knew how to keep you all together. Spanners.
Yeah, I am Spanners. You can find me on Twitter at Spanners_BTP. You can also find me over with Full and Scholar on Dark Dice. And I think that's about it. Yeah, Timi's apparently got her comeuppance. I guess it's karma after having killed many, many people, or at least attempted to. Hopefully she will have more than 3 hit points by the end of next session.
Right. Lilth.
Okay, I'm Lilth. I was playing Anita. You can find me on Twitter at Lilth21. And you can also find me on Got it up so I could remember and still forgot. Defenders of the Dusk on Kit Battlebeard's channel on a Saturday at 9 p.m. British summertime. And Anita's actually finally drawn blood.
Yeah.
Yay!
And successfully intimidated a gentlemanly old man.
Which is a minor miracle considering how unintimidating she is.
Well, you know, she's got the intellectual toolbox. All you have to do is make sure all of her intimidates are intellectually themed.
Yes, then it's fine.
Yeah. So there we are. We've all learnt something. If you're clever, scare people with how clever you are.
Yep.
Ivor.
I'm Ivor. I've been playing Zeke, the Craven Wanderer. You can find me on Twitter at Ivor_DNABC. Here on a Friday night and otherwise in the nebulous north. Yeah, that was good fun for the less than 2 hours we're together, and then Cowardly Tendencies reappeared, and we'll see how that works out next time.
Yeah. So, crap, I really cannot remember what I say at the end of these things. Those of you who are watching, thank you for watching. Those of you who watch us later on YouTube, thanks for doing that. You guys, thanks for playing. And hey, it's not that bad because it's nearly over. So that's where I'm going to cut to outro. Oh, right, there we are. We're in outro now. Yeah. There was no waving this time. Oh god. Complete mind emptiness.
I can't remember what you say at the end.
I can't remember what I say at the end. Yeah. So
We'll get Bud to write you a script again.
oh god. Yeah, I'll probably lose it. But right. Cheerio, guys.